Hello, guys. Welcome. Welcome to another episode of Ripster Daily Trade Recaps and Daily Teachings, Lotto Friday Special. All right, guys. Another huge sell-off red day in the markets, and no problem for us. We short the markets and we do not buy because our system clearly tells us we do not buy. If you have been watching my videos, if you actually watched my yesterday or day prior's special video that I did, how to trade the red markets, you did pretty good. I hope you guys learned from that teaching. And actually, I was pleased to see a lot of traders on the Twitter as well today. They were doing pretty good, and they saved themselves from the sell-off. Anyways, we'll discuss again. It's going to be a similar setup, how we sold and we made profits all day going short in the community on everything. And let's start with a quick introduction to anybody who's new to me, new to my YouTube, new to our Twitter accounts, or new to our community, guys. So, all right, guys, all these trade recaps, all these teachings are mostly from our community or anything I share on Twitter. Today, for example, today I shared these ideas on Twitter as well, or anything I share with you guys in my previous YouTube videos. Every morning, before we even start that, so we trade a repeatable system. Ripster EMA Clouds in the stock market. This system is used by thousands of traders across the world to trade consistently. It is the most profitable and most probable system that I have been teaching from years and years and years. And so that's what we trade. And we trade repeatable setups. We do not trade anything random. We don't just wake up and see if we like something and we trade it. No, we just trade anything and everything which is repeatable. If our system triggers us, that's repeatable, we trade it. So every morning, we and my team, we make a game plan for the day. So our game plan, you can see in our game plan for the day, we have a support level, resistance level. I highlight the red, which are main focus. And then we have earning plays, we have upgrades, downgrades, we have market index stocks with news. So we make different sections of different setups because they all behave differently, they all work differently, they're all different setups. But I do highlight a red in each of them. Either it's just a news, it's earnings, it's market index stock, or it's an upgrade, downgrade. In addition to that, we do have a list of IPOs. Today, CRWV was the IPO. We'll recap a little bit on that. We do have a low float channel. We have low float room. So we have all that planned out in the pre-market. I do this planning live on screen in the pre-market, making plan for everything. That's why I will go through it. So I will go through all these setups and we'll see how the planning worked out. Not all of them will trigger, but based upon our plan, we will trade. Either we'll trade our morning trade setups, 10 a.m. setups, midday setups. All of these setups I cover in my YouTube recaps, and I also cover in my detailed webinars that you can see in the community. So anyways, we have this game plan for all the stocks. Then we also have something called day 2, day 3 strategy. Day 2, day 3 strategy is one of my repeatable strategy that I invented. This is for something that had a news yesterday, day before, and we use this strategy every day to trade the stocks which fall into this category. So we'll look at CNXC, which was our top day 2, day 3, how that worked out. And then we have crypto stocks. We can trade all those crypto stocks. We'll talk about MSTR today, and we provide these levels. Then, of course, we provide the levels for all the index stocks, ETFs that you can trade. We also trade futures in the community. So since I'm guiding the market, everybody can trade ES futures, NASDAQ, other futures in the community as well, using the Ripster EMA Cloud system. Now, in our community, we have a lot of scanners. We have 4 or 5 free scanners, which you can use freely. Usually, those scanners you have to pay $500-$600 a month outside. It's all free in our community. We have option flow scanners, so we can keep eyes on the option flow. Then we have the fastest breaking news alerts, breaking news voice alerts, breaking news squawk, and then, of course, I'm on the voice first few hours of the market open, and then guiding the traders throughout the day in my dedicated feed. We have a trading floor where thousands of traders all day are sharing ideas, trying to find opportunities in the market to make money, and also to lose less. That's always our focus. I always say, lose less, make more. So anyways, this is the introduction. Let's start with the recap. I'll cover all the losers and winners. Let's start. All right, so let's look at the market. So what was the plan over on a SPY QQQ? So on a plan over SPY QQQ this was the morning plan that I tweeted out as well this morning on my Twitter feed as well, sharing the community. So we have to watch 19 on the VIX, 1940 over those level market short. If breaks 19, market bounces, right? And also, of course, I gave those levels to watch on SPY QQQs, and then of course the levels you can watch this future levels. Once these levels break, you short it. So what happened, right? So it was kind of little tricky at first this morning because I gave the short right at the open. But when the pre-market level, you see this, the pre-market level was not breaking down, I proactively exited the shorts. You can see short, then I said close the shorts because we were not breaking down here. And the VIX looked like it wants to break 19. Right? So that's why I told everyone, let's, we can close the shorts. But then we don't just give up because then system showed us a setup. Then came the setup. And now this is the setups which I keep teaching about it, right? I even tweeted about it. So let's see here. Anyways, we were already short when we saw this rejections. When we saw this rejections, you showed it. You showed the SPY right away, and you showed QQQ right away, and then you can add when we break the pre-market lows. And if you see here, this is what I shared with everyone. Twitter, clean setup, VIX breaks 1940 to end up another red day. It will be another red day. So I predicted that. I told that everybody, and it's not the first time it's a system. All at 9:57, and we were earlier. It was at what 9:53 right here in the community. So you can see that 9:53 was when we were even talking about it in community. So after that, let's see what happened. So after that, this happened. Why did this happen? Why did this happen? Because it's clear. VIX is breaking out of that range box, and SPY is breaking down under the range box. Even if you go to the, even the QQQ, same thing. So even if you are going to look at daily chart, that's fine. But the overall big picture is, guys, VIX is trading over 3450 Ripster EMA Cloud. SPY is under 3450 Ripster EMA Cloud. QQQ is under 3450 Ripster Cloud. So you have no business going long. Now we just have to identify how we manage our short position. We did get a little fake out, but doesn't mean we can't add the puts back, right? So let's say this, you see this QQQs. Let's look at, I always teach that always at the closest puts, let's say 479 puts. So if we look at the 479 puts on QQQs, and since it's a Lotto Friday, so I'm going to talk about the Lotto puts, you can see that they ran from what, 81 buck all the way to $4. So you could easily make, from $1, you could easily get 300% return, right? But the point is the trader's size too big. They do not, I keep repeating it. I've shared so many videos. I'm trying to keep a video small today. I have to go somewhere. But you go back, watch my Lotto Friday playlist, and you will learn. And watch the videos I tell you. Traders wants to load, they have $10,000 account, they want to buy $6,000 worth of puts. And when it does this, they panic and they don't add, and then they're scared to add here because they added a big size, they exit, and they barely make 5-10% when they could have made 300%. Now imagine you only had 2 contracts, right, relative to your account. 2 might be small to you, 10 might be small for $1 million account, doesn't really matter. So only 2 contracts, and then if you assumed 100% risk, right? Of course, if it goes over 481, we are assuming 100% risk. We don't want to get 100% risk, but it's assumed risk every Lotto. And if you see that if you held it, even your $200, you would have made $600-700, a small account, right? So just to give you an example. So anyways, this is the point, but this was the setup. So, and then we just started moving the stops down, right? My continuous guidance all day. Then came the 10 a.m. flush. Our 10 a.m., there was no bounce. That means this is a 10 a.m. trend time flush. That will be the trend for whole day, usually, right? So that was it, guys. This gave us this set up the whole day for us. We were short on everything: Tesla, Apple, Meta, Google, Amazon, LULU, NVDA, MSTR. So everything this was the crux of all day short. Now, another important thing, you don't buy, guys. You do not buy. there are a lot of people who are still improving, but I still see that a lot of people still struggling. You do not buy that, right? So that's why I was continuously breaking. So it's all about VIX. Use the VIX strategy. VIX continues to break out. There's no reason to think long. VIX breaks this, VIX breaks 20, pulls back to 20. Look, I mentioned a VIX bounce here. Let me show you. So you will see that we continuously watch. That was another angsty. VIX 20 bounce. See, that was a VIX 19 bounce. 20 bounce, 19 bounce, 20 bounce took it another way down. So there was no reason to try buying it when VIX is so strong. And there was no, simply, we do not even look at longs. That's the problem. Traders look for longs. And you have to get out of that mentality. Stubborn mind, you have to get out of that, right? So that was our game plan. So you see that Anthony, it's not only in the community, right? I teach people freely. I help people freely. I still answer freely DM. Yes, we have the largest community online. You can pay, you can join, but I never ask you that, right? But the plan is I just want to see people change their lives. So, so literally, people just killed it. And this was on the community. So if you can see that, what are we doing? Everybody's short. Anthony had 800 LULU. DJL has 300%. Rose has 300% SPX. Dr. Omar had 250% on Tesla. Right, we will cover all that, right? 250%. So see, they are taking their $1,000 and they're converting into 3, 4, 5 grand in a day. Why? They could have easily gone long because they are following the system. So that's what I'm telling you. You have to change that mindset. If you really want to change, then if you really want your accounts to change, then you change. If you want your financial position to change, then you change. If you don't change your habits, you don't change yourself. You will always be having small losers, small winners, big losers, right? I mean, traders just killed it. I mean, I'm so happy today. And you see my continuous guidance, VIX over 21. We are going to get more pain. And you can see that VIX 21, more pain. Right? So what happened? We continue to get more pain. So, so that's the thing, guys. You do not have to keep buying the longs. Today was the day to stay short. When there's day to do short, we short it. And not only that, when market does this, failed curls, today market didn't even do that. Some of the stocks did it, you reshort them. LULU, we'll talk about them. So anyways, guys, so you can see the complete guidance, no hindsight, no BS, complete guidance, voice guidance, live guidance in the community, screen share and the voice, and Twitter guidance as well, so that other traders can benefit. I literally got so many DMs today, saved so many accounts. And remember this, fix your stubborn mind, print this out. Last time you bought the dips in a downtrend, I got destroyed. Today I will preserve and wait for my setup. Because I tell you what, as long as Trump is president, you are going to have these red days and you are going to have ready. Forget about I want to make money. Remember that you cannot handle red day. Just stop, close the browser. If you cannot short, just step away. Because remember that when you tried it last time, you could not control yourself and you tried to go long and you lost money. So forget about that. Forget that urge. Ask yourself, is this my setup? Right? So why I'm stressing more on the on saving rather than talk more about how we made so much money on the puts, because money saved is a money made in the stock market. When you save to having a big loser, you're making money. Remember that. That's how the stock market is key, right? So time to long will come. You don't have to just buy the dips. When the time comes, you will have enough time to go long. All right. So let's go. Let's watch it. Everything we talk about is based upon the whole this. The market shorts and how we traded it. Every ticker, shorts are A+ in a bearish market. Longs are B-. Stay away from the longs. Understand my market analysis, StratSpy, track QQQ, track WIX, track US dollar, track TNX, understand Magnificent 7, understand what is QQQ made of, understand what is SPY made of, understand market breadth, how many stocks are going up, how many stocks are going down, advancers and decliners, 10 AM concept, trend time concept, amateur concept. There's so many concepts to master. Might sound complicated, guys, but it's pretty straightforward. Once you start to implement it, you will do crazy. I mean, that's how the traders in the community just killed it today, right? I mean, I'm still working on a lot of the traders who have hard time shorting. So we were like, there were 23% people red today, but we still improve, and I make sure each of my students, anybody learning from me, we can make everybody consistently profitable and change their mindset. Let's go to the next one. So, like I talked about, like I discussed earlier, everything we want to talk about is now based upon what market did. Market was short, so you can take Amazon, you can short that, right? You just need to look which gives you the best entry. You could short Google, right? So look at that all day fade, right? All day 512 fade. All day this was the best fade in a while we had. I mean, we had a decent fade in Feb, but today was just insane. You could literally, let's look at a Google option, right? But you have to show patience. If I go to the Google option, and if I go to the let's say if I want to look at the 160 puts, so the 160 puts went all the way today. Let's look here what they were. Okay, not this one illiquid. Let me find it here. So you can see that the Google put went from 40-50 cents all the way to $6, right? Like 1,000% trade. Your $100 was $1,000, your $1,000 was $10,000, but you just need to execute it, right? So that's how we guide it. And it was pretty clear to short Google. If you look at the levels I gave, watch these levels, watch the clouds. Same was for Amazon. Amazon was also a short. I mean, literally, we focus on few names, but you could literally short anything that I'm finding a good entry. I like to see big daily breakdown. If a chart is breaking a big daily level, if something is breaking MTF clouds, that gives me added conviction. So Netflix was a beautiful short, and a lot of traders just short. Like a lot of my students, they don't even wait on me. They short what they like. So look at this Netflix, right? Beautiful MTF short. Netflix, beautiful MTF short. All the way fade, right? So that was Netflix, which was MTF short in the community, and the power of MTFs. Let's look at Apple. And this is not hindsight, guys. We do it real time, and I'm just showing you this, right? And I'll show you other shorts as well. I didn't short all these the traders shorted, but let's look at the game plan. For the Apple, I said trade versus the MTF, long over it, short under it. So what did happen, right? It gave you a 10 a.m. setup. MTF, look at this rejection. Insane. It's a cheat code, guys. Even when I invented the MTF clouds, nobody ever thought of using the daily EMAs for a day trading. And look at how good it is. MTF reject this break. You short here, or you can short here, and you all day fade Apple. Literally insane, couple of 100% on the puts you can make there. And you don't really have to trade the puts, guys. I keep saying you can trade shares, short it, trade leverage ETFs. If you trade shares, man, most of 90%, 95% of people who trade shares in my community, they are always green, because options risk management is different. Small accounts are different. It's way more. There's a lot of things attached to option, lot of options, right? You just have to assume 100% risk when you're trading those lot of options. So that was Apple short, guys, right from our game plan. That was a beautiful trade. Let's go to the next. So next one we're going to really look at is Meta. So let's see what was our plan on Meta, what we were doing on Meta. Let's see here. So Meta was, if you read what I said, there was some news on Meta. I said trade versus 600, bearish to neutral with the market. This is the important word, with the market, right? So that's the important word, with the market. So when I say with the market, if market is heavy, you short it. And that's when I saw that market rejecting. I told on the voice that Meta is also a nice short. I already gave the plan. So ideally, you should already be short. And look here, guys. Look here. You can simply buy and put your stops at 600 or high of the day and forget about it. And once the market, I just showed you how the SPY was going, you add more. I gave the traders 590 puts. I told that you can add 590 puts, and that was my first target. And you can see on the left-hand side, my timestamp guidance. Most of it was also on voice, so you might not see that, of course, but let me show you what 590 did here. So if you look at the Meta 590 puts, let's check that one out here. So we are looking at this 590 Lottos, right? So what were 590 Lottos doing? So 590 Lottos, which I mentioned in the community, was our first target. They went from $1 all the way to $15. They were, 1,500% trade. And you don't, what do you do? Okay, let's say you bought $1,000 worth of lot options, assuming 1,000 full risk, right? Let's assume your big account. We don't really want to lose that 1,000, but it's a high probability trade. Right from 600, the plan was 600. If it hits 5, Ripster Clouds never curled. You have no reason to get out. Ripster Cloud never gave you a reason. Only reason you get out is because you panic or you watch your PNL. Now, you had $1,000 worth and it became $5,000. You take 2,500 out. If you leave rest of your 2,500 left of your 5 contracts, you made another $5,000 on that move by the time it hit 15. Of course, you don't want all the way to 15, but you could easily make on $1,000. You can make $6,000 today. So this is the day, guys. This is the power of the Lotto Fridays. That's how you make those 6 figures. So anyways, Meta, beautiful trade, pre-market guidance. All the way down, Ripster Cloud showing us the dip buyers get killed. Nobody in our community buy these dips. No one. We do not simply buy the dips. If you are buying the dips, you are doing it all wrong. Never do it. Short the pops, scalp all day. Do not buy the dips. All right, so next one we're going to quickly recap is LULU. So let's see what was our plan on LULU. LULU was our amazing trade as well today. LULU kind of faked out a little bit. So I stopped out at the amateur move once. But let's see here what happened later in the LULU. Okay, so let's go back, see what was the game plan on LULU. LULU was our top earning play. Trade versus 300. No long under 300. Play 512 calls. If 300 holds, bearish to neutral bias. Now what LULU did, right? So I was short on LULU right away. But when I saw it swiping and not breaking the pre-market lows, right here, then I closed it. Because I don't know, it was taking too long to break this pre-market lows. It's similar to what SPY QQQ was doing, right? So if you got a good entry, that's fine. Ideally, I shouldn't even have stopped out, but I try to manage my trade proactively. You see, this was the resistance. This line, actually, the resistance was right at 301, a little higher on the 30. When I saw the rejections again, I said short again. This time, use a $4 risk, right? And then 290 were the lottos I gave. And then my target was 290. We hit 290. We kept the runners. We hit 287. Then we covered. And then traders re-hit the short again. It was not choppy. It was not like the other trades. But regardless, LULU was a nice trade for us for 300% on that 290 lotos, which were, of course, they closed out of the money. So they had no value end of the day. But if you want to look at the LULU lotos, let's see here. Okay, let me see. You see that, they were 89 cents, $1. They went all the way to $6. Right? So that was the lot option I was guiding everybody in the community. Usually I don't give the strikes. But I try to teach them so they can trade. In our community, traders already know I have my teachings on, I have option webinars, option education, everything. So traders already know what option strikes to pick. And based upon the risk reward, 290 was cheap. You could easily risk 100% and makes you, just like I showed you, you made 600% there. Right? So that's the power of Lotto options, guys. Assume risk is like that. Okay, let's go to the next one. So next one, we're going to look at Tesla. Let's see what we did on Tesla. So we were short on Tesla right at the open because Tesla showed us the bearishness. Let's look at here. So again, the Tesla plan was all given in the pre-market. Let's see here. So you see that Tesla, bunch of news, flat in pre-market, watch the flow. If market weak, then cautious. Only long if 1 hour MTF holds. Like yesterday, or short under it. What do you see? 1 hour MTF rejected. 1 hour MTF rejected. Pushed, rejected. You short here, wherever you short, don't care. And then again, the second MTF broke. It was a nice fade all the way to 261, right? That was where you cover the flush. Then a failed, the setup I showed you, the failed calls, you could scalp it. But this was the main trade from 272s to 260s, right? It was a decent trade, but you can see the timestamp guidance right here. Tesla short. I gave the stops at 275, so that was pretty good, right? So you see in all my plays, I didn't even give a single long on these market setups. Bunch of other names were short, but not that clean. They were a little choppy. NVIDIA was only short in the first move, and that will happen. You need to identify which is more weak, which is less weak. If you see that Google and Amazon were clean fades, but when something starts to chop, you get out. if it's chopping, not fading for, you get out, that's fine. But with your lot options, you don't have that luxury because your lot options will lose their time value. But if you're trading the shares, you can manage them well. But NVIDIA was also short. I mean, everything was short. I don't need to discuss this again. We had the pre-market planning on all of those. We had the levels on NVIDIA. You can go pause the screen and look here. So clearly, no long, there was a short. All right, then we have our MSTR. So our MSTR was a simple short. It's every Friday play, and when market is heavy, Bitcoin is heavy. It's fade, right? Bitcoin down in the pre-market. Watch the 512 call. If market bounces, no long under 313. You see this 313s, and what did it do? As soon as it rejects this 512, you can short it. You saw the market dumping, you short it, or you short it pre-market lows. Ideally, you want to start shorter closer to the cloud break. This is the similar setup that I just showed you on QQQ. You see that the box breakdown here happening, right? So that was a beautiful short as well in the community. That's why I give the levels. You can see Karasik was guiding, Raga was on top of it, and Tony was on top of it. As usual, Kevin was killing that short. Karasik, Ben, I mean, you can see, look at this, guys. I mean, amazing guidance by a lot of traders in the community. So love to see that. Love to see that, right? So we had a plan, every Friday it runs, and we have our crypto watch and MSTR. Once it broke 300, you can always add more because 300 is a big level, and that was MSTR. Once it breaks 300, it goes more lower. So there was a loser today on a low float. Usually don't trade low float, but we tried to trade this one. The plan on this one to long it on the pre 11 versus 1150. But this was amateur. It never really gave a trend move setup. It was an amateur move. So when it broke down, I said, do not go. So that was, most of traders, we didn't even trade it, but but it was a loser long setup because it failed 512 pretty violently. And once something fails, you get out. Let's look at a bunch of other setups. There was a bunch of other setups. Taiwan Semi was a short. Again, I'm just repeating all those setups. They were all same setups. You can see Taiwan Semi was a short. Let's see here. Was Semi is short if Semi is weak, right? Okay, so what do? You short once the QQQ starts to fail. You short here, take it all the way down. Not options are not liquid that much, but you can still make good money and you get out here. So there was a bunch of other names, PLTR, ARM. Those were also two shorts. Why was ARM? Because ARM was our top day two setup. Look what I said: 111, 112, 15, 1 hour support above, 100 key level below, and also not only that, we had this CDNS replacing ARM as the top pick of Morgan Stanley. So you have a news. So when you have a news, you focus there. Semi-strong long versus 111, no go under. So once 111 gave up on ARM, this 11, you shorted. And then we have our different setup was PLTR, was similar thing. Once it breaks this, not as clean, but it was still a good setup. So there was another day two setup. These quiet names are just so crazy. Yesterday it ran too much. It was our number one day two. 1 hour support, 54, 64. You see that? And you basically short it and you risk $1 and you're literally making $10. You're risking $1,000, you're making 7-8 grand. Guys, these are the setups. I mean, if you're trading shares, you're literally under my guidance with my system, you literally have such a high probability of succeeding in the market. The main struggle is for the option traders. They can do it, that they need to be more confident. Amazing guidance by RGV on CNXC. You can see that he continuously guided on the day to short on CNXC. All right, so I'm going to talk about a little bit about the IPO today. I didn't end up trading it. Let's see here. It was a little short scalps, but let's see here what was happening. So golden rule for any IPO, guys, that you always need to learn is the opening range. What's the high low it's making in its first 10-minute candles, and this is good for the swings as well. First 1 month candle, first yearly candle, right? I'll put something out separately for it. I have been teaching my IPO setups for a long time. So the first candle was between 40 and 39, right? So that was the range. Now you short when it broke the 39, you close the short when it comes over 39. And then you use the 39 long again if it's long. And once it breaks out here, it's another long, right? You can use the stops middle of this range. So the concept really is about the opening range on the IPOs. So, you know, today we having so much fun and other stuff, but I was teaching my traders, showing them the opening range. You see, I've already drawn this box. So when the stock comes into this box in the opening range, it's gonna, then this becomes your risk again, because this was where the IPO had the lows. You can also use sometimes the opening price of IPO, but you definitely cover your shorts when you see this, or you definitely 100% cover your short when you see this getting over the upper range. So a very impressive move by this IPO in this this tough market. So we'll definitely be watching if market bounces, but we will do more IPO recaps teachings as we play more IPOs if market improves. But this is the general concept. Use it next time you want to trade an IPO. Make an upper range, lower range. If you see it's consolidating, then you use this stops to long it. And if you're a bearish bias, then you have to use the upper range as a stops, or and if you're bullish bias, then you do not long here. You definitely don't long here. When you see this, then you can long here and you use the stops at here. And if it breaks out, that's good for you. It's going to push higher, right? So that's the IPO concepts, guys. Thank you so much. Take care. Bye-bye.